While everyone's settling down, just a quick introduction. So, you heard enough, but I've been with Google for 7 years. So, it's been a very long time, and I can safely say that this is the most exciting phase for my career and Google's stint in India. Just because, businesses like yours are adopting digital in such a big way. So, I'm really, really excited to, stand up here and talk to you about AdWords. It's something that I've worked with throughout my career in AdWords and Google. So hopefully all those stats you saw in the morning about, number of people coming online, people coming on mobile, YouTube users growing. So if you really wanted to connect with your customers across any of these platforms, Google has one solution, which is AdWords, right? So it's a very, very powerful tool. It's a very, very powerful platform. And hopefully this session will give you an insight or a peek into it. Again, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So if you want to know more, there are more sessions, so just check out the agenda. I think there's one more happening right after this. It's track 3 or 4, right? So if you want to know more, definitely read up online or just walk up to me after this with more questions. So without further ado, the agenda today is pretty simple. We're going to be talking about how you can connect with your customers online, because that's where they are. We're going to be talking about magic moments, right? So you heard about the 0 moment of truth in the morning. So just talking about that a little more. And then a quick AdWords 101. So I'll just walk you through some basic concepts. What are things that you need to care about and monitor in your account, in your AdWords campaigns, right? So, and hopefully after this, you'll get a sense of, if you are a business owner or you're working with a business, if you want to get started, what are some of the key basic things that you need to keep in mind? Sound good? Okay. And we'll keep the questions to the end. So again, I have mugs to give away. So my favorite question gets a mug, right? So definitely, keep those questions coming, but we'll take them in the end. So we'll have time for Q&A. Cool. So let's move on. So if you think about today, almost everybody, like a lot of people are online. You find all kinds of content online. You have blogs, you have business websites, you have an online video community growing on YouTube. You have social profiles, you have personal profiles. So no matter what business you are in, there's, a lot of people are coming online in a big, big way. Just to share a very, like a personal anecdote, about a couple of weeks back, a friend of mine gifted me a powdered eyeliner, right? So I don't have a talent for makeup, so I had no idea how to use it, right? So I got this gift from my friend, and I'm sitting there going, how does one apply this? Like, I usually, so I'm like, okay, maybe I should Google it. So I tried Googling it, but that didn't quite work. So I went on YouTube. So I actually typed in like how to apply powdered eyeliner, and I was amazed at the results. There's actually a community of like fashion stylists who give you these fashion tips. So they've actually created like, homemade videos and I found a video where there was this like young girl who was, step-by-step instruction on how to use or apply the eyeliner that I exactly owned. I thought that was incredible. I didn't ever imagine that there's like such a big community of video and people, creating, that kind of video online. So if you think about it, almost everyone and everything is online today. Anything that you need, you either Google it, go on YouTube, around the web, you're most probably going to find it. So, given that there's so much going on, right? There's so much content, how do you find your customer there and connect with them? Which is the key thing. So one way to look at it is we're in the connection business. So what we're doing on one side is connecting your users or your consumers to information that they are looking for. So think of me like when I was looking at, how to use powdered eyeliner, for example, or whatever. Let's say I'm researching my next holiday, or I'm interested in buying a new laptop. So I just go to Google and I type that out. So I want information which is relevant to me. And Google there is making a connection with businesses or websites out there that have that relevant information that I'm looking for. Now, if you turn the table and think about these businesses on the other side who've created these websites, who've created these ads, Google is also giving you a means to connect with your customers as they are searching, right? So that's one way to think about it. Like think of, connections. And if you think about the dynamics of users and how they connect across the web, it's very, very dynamic and it's always ever changing. So you might have person A who looked at a very interesting news clip on YouTube, told person B about it. Person B is like, that sounds interesting. Let me go and see if I can find that website. Then, they probably share it, or they tweet about it, or, share it in their social circles. Then someone does a search, right? So one spark can spark off so many activities across the web. So it's very, very dynamic, it's very, very engaging, it's very, very social. Again, a key question to ask yourself if you're a business, a marketer out there, how do you break through this? How do you understand this? And how do you connect with the user here who is really interested in your products and services? So I'm sure you saw this chart in the morning, like search is exploding. As was mentioned, like more recent stats show that it's growing even more now, so 25 to 30x. And if let's actually take a look at, what happens when someone searches on Google. How many of you have, conducted a search on Google recently? Most of us? Okay, that's good, that's great. So as you notice that, let's say what you enter here is a search query. Let's say you're researching laptops. You see natural listings. So these are websites, they show up because they are relevant to the query that has been entered. What also shows up are what we call sponsored links. Sponsored links are ads, right? So this is what advertisers pay for. They want to custom message to their audience and say, look, you're looking for a laptop, I have an ad that caters to what you need. Right? So if you look at the search, that's how it's broken up. So there's a search query, there are natural listings, and then there are ads. So you'll have ads on the top and on the side of the page. You also find these ads on other search partners. So if you go to like ask.com, AOL.com, etc., let's say you enter a search query there. If they are a partner with Google, you will also see Google served ads there. And if you use the AdWords platform, your ads are also eligible to show up with these partners when people are actively searching. Now, people don't only search on the web. Any guesses as to how, what percentage of time they spend searching? Like out of all the time that they spend online, what percentage is spent searching? 80? 85? 70? Any other guesses? If you had to lower it a little? 50? 25? Okay. It's only 5%, right? Very, very small amount of time, but very relevant time, because that's when they are considering your products and services the most. That's when they're searching, right? Someone is actively looking for a laptop. Someone is actively looking for a particular product which is related to you. But that's only 5% of the time. What are they doing the other, 95% of the time? So they're browsing the web, they're doing all kinds of activities, checking email, chatting, engaging, socializing, etc. So when you think of your online marketing strategy, don't just focus on search. Remember, there's a lot else going on across the web that you need to capture. So again, AdWords provides you a solution for that. So if you were to, let's say, reach out to your audience when they're not searching, let's say there are websites out there which are related to your business. Let's say you are a sports gear business and you're looking for sports enthusiasts, people who are interested in specific sports, let's say cricket or golf. Now, when you think about one such person, you're like, okay, this person is relatively young, maybe has this much income, is interested in XYZ. What if, you could go out there and find those relevant sites which this person looks at when they're not actively searching and show your ad there? So if I'm a cricket enthusiast and I see a very good ad for cricket gear at a discounted rate, that's something that would interest me, right? Right? So there are other ways, there's a lot more inventory out there that you can capture beyond search. And I'm pleased to say that the Google Display Network actually captures 80% or more of the online audience out there today. So if you're thinking beyond search, all our partners, etc., we actually span about 80% of the online audience in India today, which is a huge, huge number. So it really depends if you are the marketer, if you are the business owner, how are you going to use this and find your audience within this inventory? The same thing for mobile, right? So you know that mobile is growing in such a tremendous pace. And again, there was research done, and apparently in May this year, the internet traffic from mobile actually surpassed internet traffic from desktop in India. I think that's phenomenal. What does that mean? That means that more and more people are accessing the internet from their phones and not from their laptops. Again, tremendous opportunity for you. So again, if you're thinking, what are these people doing if they're not searching? When they're not searching, they're, again, on sites, on their mobile phones. Are you going to show your ads to them there? So the key question is, so what? Right? I told you about all these things, and everything's growing, everything looks good, but so what? So if you think about it, the key focus of any marketing, whether you're online, offline, whatever industry you're in, what everyone's trying to do is connect the right ad to the right audience. And when that connection happens, what forms is what we call a magic moment. Right? So it's the power of that connection. It's, being able to communicate to your user at the point that they're looking for you with the custom message, the right message. And if you're able to do this, it's what we call the zero moment of truth or the magic moment. That person will connect to your brand, will connect to your products and services, and is more likely to buy or come back at a later time. Right? So keep thinking about connections and the magic moment. So how can you create these magic moments across the platforms that AdWords provides today? Key is search. Definitely be there when people are searching, because that's what they're doing. That's when they're the most engaged. If someone's heard of your brand, they've seen an ad on some website, or they've heard of you, they'll come and search for that. Or someone's planning, to buy something, purchase a product, purchase a vacation, for example. So it is the key point of consideration, and you definitely want to be here. So that's magic moment number one. The other thing is when people are on the go. People are using their phone. So how many of you looked for directions or whatever on the way here? Yeah, see? So, people want information on the go. Or you might be stuck in traffic and, let's say you're planning your next vacation. Or, you're planning to buy something. And you're like, okay, I might as well make good use of my time, and you take out your phone and you're just browsing. So you're researching, you're comparing. So it's an integral part of your research and comparison process. Again, you want to connect with your customers when they do this. So that's magic moment number two. When they're browsing the web, this is very dynamic. There's so many websites out there. There's just so much that you can do. So how are you going to create that magic moment and connect with them on the web? And finally, of course, when they're engaging with videos. So very, very engaged community on YouTube. And this is very, very different from TV. TV, if you think about it, when ads come on TV, it's your favorite show. Let's say the commercial break comes. People go off and do their own things, and they know they're going to come back in 3-4 minutes. And nowadays they have the countdown, so you know exactly when to come back. And what we call, the slot A ads, which roll just before, the serial comes back on, those get like the prime slots. But on YouTube, we find that a lot of people are actually engaging, they're very engaged when they watch these ads. I'm sure you've seen those ads on YouTube where you get the option to skip. Everyone done that? Everyone skipped an ad on YouTube? Yeah? I'm sure all of us have, right? So sometimes the ad is relevant, sometimes it's not. But the point is you get an option to skip. Now, if you're the advertiser and you've set up that ad and people are skipping your ad, Google does not charge you for it. So we only charge you if someone has watched 30 seconds or your entire ad if it's less than 30 seconds. So unlike TV, you're not paying for like someone who's actually not watching your ad. We believe that if someone has watched your entire ad or 30 seconds or more, you are paying for an engaged audience. And we've seen very cost effective, it's very, very cost effective, especially if you have video inventory. How many of you have YouTube content or any video inventory, related to your business? Okay, quite a few hands. That's good, that's good. So, think about this. When you go back, there are proper instructions on how to set this up. If you haven't started with AdWords, it's very, very easy to set up a campaign to target your audience on YouTube. And I really, really think that you should do that, especially if you have video inventory. So definitely think about it. But this is magic moment number 4. When people are watching videos, it's the most engaging format. You need to be present there. Okay, so as I mentioned, AdWords allows you to create ads and your marketing campaigns across all of these platforms. Now the key question is why AdWords, right? Why this platform? So there are three key things why you should be with AdWords. One is reach. So, let's say whether it's search, it's the display network, whether it's mobile, whether it's YouTube, there's a tremendous reach in terms of the audience that you can reach out to. Right? So let's say you're targeting search and you're a B2B business. You're looking at, people who are interested in some kinds of machinery or, like some kind of dealerships or partnerships, etc. There are keywords or queries that you can find out there that are relevant to your business that you can add on. So every time someone searches on Google on that, based on how you've targeted your campaigns, your ad will show. That is very powerful in terms of reach. That means every time someone, like a customer is coming, you're not shutting your storefront to them. They have the option of seeing your ad. If they find it engaging enough, they will connect with you. Right? So tremendous number of reach. Then it's cost. So cost is very flexible. There's no minimum spend commitment. Based on your budget, you can set this up. So Google doesn't tell you that, you have to spend, X amount of money in a month. You can, set it up for a budget that's comfortable for you. So let's say it's doing well and you want to scale it up, you can do that at any point or cut it back down. The other thing is tracking. So very, very powerful tracking. How many of you have tried analytics? Okay, a lot of hands, that's good. You can measure things. So let's say on your website, you want people to sign up. Provide their email ID and say, yes, I'm interested. And maybe someone from your sales team will get back to them. You can track that action on your website and call it, let's say, a conversion. So you can track at the keyword level. Let's say for that query we saw earlier, some laptops, people who are searching for laptops. You can actually track that how many conversions, how many people signed up on your website as an outcome of that query. Right? So a lot of tracking, in terms of tracking and measurability, a lot of transparency that you have options for. And you can use it in so many ways. They're very, very advanced bidding, technology and other things that you can leverage once you've put into place conversion tracking. So these are the key reasons why you should be with AdWords. It's really, and I spoke about reach. So, tremendous reach across the web. 80%, it's really a lot. And this spans across Google properties, so whether you're on YouTube or Gmail, it spans our search partners and our content partners. In terms of cost, as I said, no minimum spend. You choose the budget that you want to spend with us. So it's very, very flexible. And you will have in-depth tracking and measuring techniques in your account once you set it up. Right? So this gives us, it gives you a lot of powerful data that you have for your business that you can, really use to take it to the next level. Okay, so we're going to dive into a little bit of like the technicalities. So let's say you're like, okay, I'm convinced. It's a good opportunity. It's a good thing for my business. I want to get started. But, what is an AdWords account? Like, what does it mean? Like, I have this website and, how am I going to translate that website into marketing campaigns? So I'm just going to walk you very quickly through some basic concepts in terms of account structure, which will hopefully get you, help you get thinking about how you might want to structure your campaigns if you want to get started. So think of AdWords campaigns as representing parts of your website. So you have a website, you have different products, services, or maybe it's just mainly one product or service. So think of an AdWords marketing campaign representing that product or service or those groups of products and services. Right? So it could be like retail products, it could be a B2B service, it could be a lead generation, it could be a financial service, it could be travel, it could be anything. Right? But the bottom line is your AdWords campaign will represent that line of products on your website. So that's where you start off. So if you were to break it down, let's say today you don't have an AdWords account, you go and open it up. What you create are campaigns at the very high level. You say, okay, on my website I have 5 products. I'm going to create a campaign for each of these 5 products. Right? Then you further break it down. Maybe within products you have variations. You have something that's high cost, low cost. Maybe you have it for different audiences. Right? So this comes down to the nitty-gritties. So you have to group them together. So let's say you're a retail site. So one part of your website talks about apparel. Then you have footwear. Then you have accessories. So you might create a campaign for footwear, accessories, and apparel. Within apparel, let's say you have, kurtas, you have formal wear for women, for men. So these would form your ad groups. And then you will write text ads specifically for this. You will say, come buy kurtas from my website, you're going to get 20% off. Then you'll write another ad for, let's say, the footwear and say, get footwear at 15% off. Right? So just follow me here. So this would be your ad text and your ad groups. Are we clear about the distinction? Yeah? Okay. And then finally, you have to pick the keywords. So when when do you want your users to see that ad for a kurta? What should they be searching on? Is this, is this someone who's just, searching for kurtas, or are these specific kurtas? Are these cotton kurtas? Or are these more like designer wear? So get into the psyche of your user, and that's when you tell the system, okay, these are the keywords or the search queries that I'm willing to target. Because you probably don't want to go and target like millions of queries happening on kurtas every day. Someone searching on kurta may not be, it might not be the most relevant for your business. Maybe your business is to do with, let's say, cotton kurtas. Right? So you just want to go after those people. So you can get very, very specific and specify the keywords or the search queries that you want to target for your business. Right? So this is the, to sum it up, this is your Google account or AdWords account structure. It starts from your website. You should break it down into, the lines of products and services that you have, if you have multiple. Then as you go even more detailed, think about specific products, group them into ad groups, write ad text for them, and then think about what keywords you're going to use to target these ads. And you have the flexibility of a lot of settings at each, along the way. So at the account level, you kind of log in, just like your Gmail. You have a login and a password. Then you also enter your billing information. And we have a lot of, billing options. Then at the campaign level, you tell us, okay, how much budget am I going to spend on apparel versus footwear? So I have 1,000 to spend in a day. Am I going to spend 500 and 500, or I'm going to spend like 600 and 400? So start thinking about, which are the best-selling products and how much you want to invest in them. So you can set a budget at the campaign level. You can also target by campaign. So let's say you want to say, I just want to target my apparel campaigns to South India and footwear to North India. Let's say that's a business strategy that you have. So you can do that at the campaign level. Right? You also know that, let's say you have insights that a lot of people are coming to your website from their mobile device in North India. So you're like, okay, let me try a mobile campaign for North India. So you can opt them into network. So you can say, let me just target mobile devices for North India. Again, you can do that at the campaign level. Right? So a lot of flexibility in terms of campaign settings that you have. At the ad group level, you have to tell the system how much you're willing to bid if someone clicks on your ad. Are you guys familiar with the CPC or the cost per click model? Yes? So with AdWords, you only pay us when someone clicks on your ad. So if your ad shows up on, on Google search, we don't charge you for that impression, that ad showing up. Only when someone goes and clicks on it, that's when you're charged. Right? So you have to tell us as the business owner, I'm willing to pay not more than 20 rupees per click for these queries or for this product. So depending on that, our system will bid on it and show your ads accordingly. There's a complex algorithm that goes, on in the background. And if you come down to the keyword level, let's say you have 5 keywords like kurtas, cotton kurtas, red kurtas, blue kurtas, etc. Right? So you can say, okay, for blue kurtas, it's my best-selling product. I want to be in top, in the top slot. There's no way I'm going to allow my competition to beat me there. Because that's my, I know they also have blue kurtas in their inventory, but my kurtas are way better and they get me the most revenue. So you can bid a lot more on, that particular query, and you're like, okay, cotton kurtas, maybe not that much. It doesn't get me as much revenue. So maybe bid a little less on that. So you have flexibility in terms of how much you want to bid for cost per click at the keyword level or even at the ad group level. Right? So it's a little challenging to kind of talk to you about like all the features here, but just know that these are some of the key things you need to keep in mind, how you want to structure your campaign, and your key settings. Where are you targeting? What networks are you looking at? Are you looking at just search? Are you looking at the display network? Are you looking at video? Are you looking at mobile? Right? So start thinking about that, and how much are you willing to pay, and how much are you willing to bid? So these are the key questions you need to think about if you're trying to, strategize your AdWords campaigns. So let's actually look at an example. So let's say this is an ad that says, buy Google gear. It's not very specific, is it? Google gear can be anything. It could be a jacket, it could be just any merchandise. And these are all the queries that we've picked that we want this ad to target. So it ranges from beach towels to, umbrellas to golf kits to everything. Now this is a very bad structure. So let's say you're the business owner and you've written this ad, you know that, okay, this is how I want to message my audience, and I want to target all these queries. Now your challenge is how you're going to break this down. So let me give you an example. This is a little better. So let's say you say, okay, and by wearables. So you have all your accessory queries in one group, right? Towels, etc. Then you have your equipment like USB sticks, etc. Then you have the third group. That structure is probably a little better, so you're getting more clarity. But what really works best is if you're the most specific. So if you have a very custom ad for specific queries. So for example, for beach towel, you actually have an ad that talks about beach towels. Think of yourself as the user. If you saw an ad like this, let's say you were typing in beach towel and you saw this ad here which says Google beach towel, etc., come buy from our store. Are you going to be clicking on that, or are you going to be clicking on an ad like this which says buy Google gear? This one's not very relevant to what you were searching for. I mean, you're not sure whether they do sell beach towels. Right? So ultimately you want to come to a structure or a way of grouping your queries in a way by which you're able to create very custom messaging for the queries that you want to target. Now you can go very nitty-gritty into this. Like, don't think that you have to write an ad for every query that you target, but think of like relevant groups that you can create out of all the queries you're looking to target. And we have tools to help you with this. Right? So there are tools out there, let's say for a business like yours, if it's, can someone give me an example? Any business owner here? No one? Career workshops, okay, that's a good one. So we have a tool called the keyword tool. So if you go and enter career workshops there, it'll give you suggestions. It'll say, okay, there are related queries happening on Google today in India, depending on what settings you select, which are related to career workshops. You might get keywords like which are related to career fairs, workshops in specific places. There might be some very irrelevant keywords also. So you're like, okay, those definitely I don't want to target, right? Jobs, and stuff like that. So these tools can really help you kind of brainstorm on, what is relevant for you and how you want to group them. And then you can think about what is the ad I'm going to create when someone types in career workshops, what is that ad I want to show them? Are we clear? Yeah? Okay. So also think of, picking keywords based on your goals. So what are your business goals? Are you looking to get the word of your brand out there? Are you looking for a, conversion or, someone to do, a specific action on your website, right? Or are you looking to capture consumers while they're just researching? So using an example, let's say someone is, thinking of buying a phone. Just that, they're just thinking, they're not serious about it yet. But you still want to capture them at that stage. You still want to let them know that your store provides mobile phones at a very good discount. The latest, celebrity phones or the hottest phones doing the rounds today, your website has them on offer through a discount. Right? So again, think of it as a funnel for your users. So think of someone who's not serious, but still it's good to let them know that your brand exists. Then you have users who are planning to buy. So they're more actively comparing, they're more actively researching. You might want to message to them separately. So the first user, you might just want to tell them the USP of your store, tell them what discounts you have to offer. For the second one, you might want to be a little more specific. Speak about the specific brand or the model of the phone. Very custom messaging. The third is when they're actually at the point of purchase. So I've done enough research, I've compared, now I really want to buy. So I might be searching on specific terms like buy the iPhone or buy an Android phone. So these are people who are closest to the point of a sale. And you definitely, again, want to make sure that your ads are shown to them. So again, for career workshops, using that example, maybe a point of purchase is when you want people to sign up on your website for a workshop, right? So there someone is actively searching, so they're probably looking to sign up for a career workshop. or they're looking for a career workshop in their city. For them, you might want to, keep a very custom messaging and say, this workshop is happening in the next week. So sign up now. If you sign up now, you'll get a good deal or whatever. Right? Versus someone who's generally planning their career and you're like, okay, I just want to let this guy know that my company conducts workshops and whenever he's interested, he should come sign up with me. Then you might throw an ad out there which talks about your brand and how good it is and how often you conduct workshops. Cool? Okay, so let's look at some examples. So we have an example here. So can you guys tell me if you think the ad is well matched to the query? So I don't know if you can read this well, but it's basically kids cooking classes. So with hopefully one day the MasterChef Junior series will come to India. So let's say you're trying to teach your kid how to cook from now, and you want to get them enrolled into cooking. And you type this in Google and this is the ad you see, school holiday activities. What do you think? Would you click on this ad? Do you think it's relevant? No? Yes? I think it's fairly relevant. I mean, it's okay. I mean, these guys might have cooking as part of their activities, right? So, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for, right? So I would say it's a poor match. So if you are this website and you've set up this campaign and you've targeted a query like kids cooking classes, but this is the ad you've written, which is very general, like holiday activities, it's not the best match. Let's look at another example. What do you think of this example? So for this time they're talking about cooking classes. No? Why not? Very generic, but it's still talking about cooking, right? Okay, it doesn't have a mention of kids, which is a good catch. Again, I would say it's decent, but then again, I don't know if it's going to give a good experience to my kid, because obviously I don't want my kid to go cook with a bunch of older people, and it won't be very relevant to them. So I would say this is an okay match. So let's look at the best example, which is if you saw an ad like this, which actually spoke about kids cooking classes. So if you were the parent doing the search, this ad would stand out. Let's say all these 3 ads show up on the page, which one are you most likely to click on? The last one. Because it's more custom, it's more relevant to the query that has been entered into Google. Right? So hopefully you can see the connection, how important it is to make a connection and think of what queries you're targeting, group them together, and come up with custom messaging for them. The other thing is always create compelling ad text. Don't just, talk about your brand. You should be excited about your brand. But more than you being excited about your brand, you should let the user know what action you want them to take on your website. Like when they see your ad, what is your website about? What do you want them to do? So always have a good call to action, like tell them, call us now, book now, sign up now, buy from us. If you have any USPs that can outdo your competitors, like you're giving a particular discount, there's something about your brand and company that stands out and sets you apart from your competition, this should be called out in your ad text. It should be compelling enough for a user to click on it. You can get creative, but the best text ads in my experience are, which are informative, have a clear call to action, and they call out some USP which compels the user to click on it. So always get yourself into the psyche of the user and ask, okay, out of all these ad texts, which one would they most likely click on? Which one stands out to be the most professional? Right? We also have this option called dynamic keyword insertion. It's very interesting. So when you set up your ads, you can actually tell the system, whatever the user is searching on, that should be inserted into the headline of my ad. So if it's kids cooking classes will be inserted into the headline of your ad. So then, the user will know that it's very relevant to what they're looking for. So if users see that match between what they've entered and the first line of the ad, we've seen that they're more likely to click on that ad. So you again as the business owner and as the advertiser can set this up. Or if you don't want to show on all kinds of rubbish queries, etc., you can just say, okay, I just want my own ad text. I don't want anything to be inserted into my ad. It's your choice. Okay, so let's say there's a keyword for umbrella. And also, and when you click on the ad, it takes you to the one which says, Google on the left-hand side, right? And the second ad takes you to option 2, which is a specific page that talks about a Google umbrella. Again, obviously, it's obvious that the second one is the most relevant. So don't just land your, your users after they click on your ad, don't just land them on your homepage where they don't know what to do next, right? So, sorry, I'm using your example again, but let's say you have a career workshop website and you have different events running in different cities. So let's say your ad is talking about the event in Hyderabad. So when someone clicks on that ad, don't land them on your homepage where again, they have to look around, okay, find Hyderabad, then go and sign up there. Right? Take them directly to the Hyderabad page and where there's clearly a good call to action, they know where to sign up, you'll see the most conversions happen that way. So for those of you who have e-commerce sites or any B2B sites, travel, retail, etc., this is very, very key. And the attention span of users is very quick. Think of yourself, if you land on a page where you're expecting to find blue kurtas, and you land on a page that's very cluttered, all kinds of products, and now you have to sit and navigate to see where you can find blue kurtas. You're going to run out of patience. You're going to back out of the site and maybe go to a competitor site. Right? So very important to link your ads to a relevant page. Bring your users closest to the point of conversion. Very important. I won't spend too much time on this slide. I think some of us already have AdWords accounts. I would really encourage you to go and check it out. But there are some key things that I want to call out here. But this is typically what your AdWords account looks like. It is a little complex, I have to agree. But you'll find a bunch of tabs. So remember we spoke about campaigns, ad groups, keywords, etc. You'll find a tab for each of these. So let's say you've set up all your campaigns, now you want to see how all your campaigns are doing. How much traffic did they get? How many conversions did they make in a day? So you go to the campaigns tab. Now you want to see what settings did I choose for a particular campaign. So you go into the settings tab, right? So everything is very, very well structured. If you have video campaigns, YouTube campaigns, there's a separate tab for that. If you want to see more keyword opportunities, let's say you set it up, now you want to scale it. Let's say you're spending about 100 rupees a day, it's doing really well for you, it's gotten you good returns. Now you want to invest some more money and you want to say, what are 50 other keywords that I can target for my there and find opportunities for your campaigns. If you want tools and analysis, we have a separate section of the AdWords account for that. Very, very detailed, very, very powerful. So if it's the first time you're creating an AdWords account, definitely take some time to kind of get yourself used to the interface. But things should be self-explanatory. Okay, a little technical, this is the last lap, so just bear with me, but there are some key metrics and things like that that you need to keep in mind if you're on AdWords, right? The first thing is cost per click. So your cost per click is the amount that you pay per click. So as I mentioned, like if you're that retailer, you set a bid, you say, I don't want to pay more than 10 rupees for someone searching on laptops, for example. So when someone clicks on your ad, the amount that you pay for that click is your cost per click. Right? So very key metric for AdWords. The other thing is CTR, which we call click-through rate. Any guesses on what that is? Not for the folks who have AdWords accounts, but any guesses on what click-through rates are? You might get a mug, if that's incentive. Sorry, I heard conversion. Number of clicks against impressions. Okay, so what part of your site gets the best conversion and visibility? Okay, all good guesses, but yeah, clicks over impressions is the right answer. Sorry? It's more performance. Your bid is more like what we saw before, which is cost per click. That is how much you bid. So your click-through rate is basically out of, let's say your ad showed 100 times in a day, right? Now you should be interested to know out of those 100 times, how many people came and clicked on my ad. So ad showed 100 times, that's fine. But then how many people found it interesting enough that they actually went ahead and clicked on your ad? So if it's, let's say, 20 clicks. So out of 100 times that your ad showed, people clicked on it 20 times. So that becomes your click-through rate. For AdWords, that is a very, very key metric. because this is an indicator of how good your ad is, how relevant your ad is, and how engaging your users are finding it when they are searching for it. And a lot of things get determined. So our system, when they look at your ad, at your website, they look at CTR to determine the quality of your ads. Because obviously if your CTR is poor, like out of 100 times people are only clicking once in a day on average, that means there's an issue. Either the ad is not good or you're not targeting the right set of people. So that is an alert for you to improve it. So your CTR is a very, very key component of your campaigns. Okay. Quality score, this is a favorite. Any guesses on what quality score is? Quality of the content, it's a score 1 to 10. Relevance, yes. People clicking on it. Page relevance. Okay, combination of the ad and the keywords. So all of this actually is the right answer to that. Quality score is actually a very, very complex algorithm or a system we have developed to make sure that we give our users the best possible experience when they are searching on Google. We don't want rubbish ads to show. We want relevant ads to show. We want good quality ads to show for all our users. And the way our system determines this is through quality score. So if you are that advertiser, you should also be interested in showing good quality ads to your consumers. You don't want to be showing them a website that is not relevant or showing them messaging, which is not that great. Because they're most probably never going to come back to you if they have a bad experience. So it's in the best interest of Google, it's in the best interest of you and the users, which is, who's really at the center of all of this. So if you look at quality score, it's a measure. So someone mentioned a rating of 1 to 10. So for all your queries that you add to your campaign, so let's say you have 10 laptop queries that you've added to your campaign, each of these queries will be given a score, which is determined by our system. And they take into consideration some key things. So the one is the click-through rate. How often are people actually clicking on your ad? Out of, the 100 times that it shows, how many people are actually clicking on it? Is this a high percentage? Is it a low percentage? Obviously, the higher, the better. The other one is relevance. So you mentioned relevance, very, very key. So we don't want poor quality ads. So let's say there's a very big brand, and they don't care what, what queries they just want their ads to show up on everything. We don't want ads, poor quality ads like that to show on our auctions. We want relevance. Relevance is key. So if you are targeting a query, you should have an ad that is relevant to that and a website that is also relevant to that particular query and what the user is looking for. And also the landing page quality. So after people click on your ad, if let's say your landing page takes, a minute to load, or it's not a working site, or it's very cluttered, or it's not a good experience, or it has some malware, right? So all of these are key things. So a system looks at this, your performance history, and a lot of other things to determine what your quality score shall be. And it then assigns a score. So in your account, you'll have a list of your keywords, what scores they have. So for the keywords that have a score of, let's say, 3, 2, 2 on 10, that means there's something wrong with them. Maybe you can create a better ad for it. Maybe you can target more keywords, right? But for the ones that have 7, 8, 9, 10, that means they're doing decently or pretty well. So you should probably bid up on those keywords and see if you can get more. Right? So this is very, very key as far as AdWords goes. This is calculated for search, whether you're on mobile, whether you're on the display network. Quality, relevance is very, very key. So please keep that in mind. So just to recap, we looked at a bunch of things. One is, how to expand your reach with AdWords. We looked at across all the platforms. There's search, there's display, there's mobile, there's YouTube, right? So that's the biggest level. So think broad. Think about where your audience is. Are you going to target just search, or are you actually going to connect with them when you're not searching? Then the thing is control over your cost, and that's when you're planning your strategy. So thinking about, okay, what is my website? What are my services? How much am I willing to invest? What is the potential there? So that's something you need to think about. And then once you've set this up, you need to track your ROI. Obviously, you want to know if you've invested, let's say, you're investing 1,000 a day, an average of 1,000 rupees a day. You want to know how much revenue you're making out of it. How many people are seeing your ads? How many people are actually signing up? How many of them are buying? So we have tools to help you track all of this. So tracking is another key component of AdWords. And I mean, I would just like to leave you with the fact that, think about magic moments, think about connections, right? So get into the psyche of your user, ask yourself, who are these people? What are they searching on? What kind of content do they browse on the net? Are they on YouTube? Is there a community on YouTube that I can target? Or are they more like a social profile? Where am I going to go? Right? So if you start introspecting in those ways, you can also then go deeper and say, how am I going to connect with these people? Because when you connect with them, that's when, the zero moment of truth or the magic moment happens. That's when they can connect with your brand and they are more likely to, purchase from you or just recommend your brand to others. Right? So that's what I would like to leave you with today. And definitely start today if you haven't already. For those of us who are actively using AdWords, think of ways how you can scale it up more. Are your campaigns performing to the best that they can? What more can you do? Maybe you've just tried search, maybe you want to try display, or maybe try YouTube or even mobile. So to get started, you just have to go to adwords.google.com. It's just a simple sign up, very self-explanatory process. You can use your Google account to sign up and then just see how it goes. So this video, I don't have it on the thing, but there are a bunch of case studies that we have on AdWords. So you can Google for it. Then some of the YouTube videos you saw earlier in the morning. So we have another client called Policy Bazaar, and they saw success with AdWords very, very early on when they started out as a company. So the reality today is that a lot of small and medium businesses are seeing success through this platform. So don't think of it as, as a platform that only big brands can use. It is turning into a very, very powerful tool to reach your audience for people, for small and medium businesses as well. So I work with the SMB team and Hi, I don't think it's working, is it?
Hi everyone, my name is Hamid. I have a question which my customers usually ask. It's like, we have a lot of other search engines running the same kind of ads, but why only Google?
Very good question. I think Google's competitive stance in the market is very high, so our search advertising and the benefits and the features that we provide are a lot ahead from some of our competitors. So, that's the key reason why you should be with Google. Some of the reach stats that I showed you, it's majority of the online audience today. So you definitely should be on it. Our competitors probably don't have as much reach. Our market share is way, way higher as well. So we look at our business in different, in terms of search, in terms of our, display network and our AdSense business, in terms of our enterprise business, in terms of our products. So we do aspire to be like the number one for each of these, and which gives us a lot of, backing in terms of technology and all those other factors. So I would say it is definitely something, we're not asking you not to be with our competitors, you're free to. It's always good to see what your options are and what works for you. But being with Google, again, I would reiterate, some of the value propositions we saw for AdWords as well. It's basically, a lot of our products and services are free. If you're with AdWords, it's very flexible for your costing, tremendous reach, and a lot of flexibility that you have. And it's sort of cutting edge of technology. So that's definitely something that you should be on to test waters for your business.
Yeah, same question related to the same thing. What's the basic difference between DoubleClick and AdWords?
DoubleClick is actually, it's part of Google. So DoubleClick is a part of display advertising. So if you use things like third-party tags, but their inventory you have access to if you're on the Google display network. So it's a way of, it's a technology that lets you kind of tag your ads and creatives and show them across the web. But it is a part of Google, so you can leverage that technology, again, through AdWords as well.
Hi, my name is Amit.
Hi.
I actually have a small question.
Sure.
It was so that I was actually going to one of the website which was actually required for my project. So it was running through a literature website. wherein I was actually searching for a particular literature.
Okay.
And then what I see is an pop-up comes up from an IIPM.
From, sorry, from what?
One of the website, IIPM, MBA college.
Okay.
Now that pop-up actually doesn't allow me to go further unless and until I do something on that add-on
Right.
or that particular advertisement.
Right.
Now I do nothing because that is actually out of my interest. I just go and click on the close button.
Right.
Now when I close it, and then I go to the literature website and do some stuff, and I close it after 5 to 10 minutes. What I see is after 10 minutes is that I get an SMS from the IIPM stating that this is our college and all. Now this is actually not of my interest. Now I'm quite a bit afraid that tomorrow I might also start getting emails from them.
Yep.
So what is to be done for this?
Definitely. So I think the experience that you had is definitely not a part of Google advertising. We, as a policy for our advertising, we do not allow ads that serve pop-ups or collect any user information. So in your case, in some way they collected any personally identifiable user information by which they were able to send you an SMS or maybe send you an email later. That's not something that we encourage. So we use standard techniques in the industry. Most of our advertising is very cookie based.
Right.
So we've never collect any personal information from our users or even give them a poor experience like for pop-ups. So the experience that you had, I can say it's definitely Google, like part of Google advertising. But in that case, what I would do if you see that maybe it could be cookie based, so you can clear out your browser cache and cookies.
That I have done it already.
Yeah, so I mean those are standard things that you would do. If you see that there's malware or something else associated with it, then you need to take a closer look and clean that up.
No, only it happened that when I went to the literature site, there I've actually filled up a few informations which involved my phone number and thus.
So it could be a part of their site experience, not necessarily like part of advertising. So a lot of these ads actually, a lot of these sites actually give out ad space directly to certain businesses. So let's say this literature site has rented out space to a particular ad company, like the ad that you saw, and they allow for these formats which are like pop-ups or they collect user information. So that's something that's probably beyond our control and your control. It really depends on the advertiser and the site specifically. So if you have a complaint, you should definitely contact the site.
Done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Hi everyone,
Hi.
I'm Cheshida. I have a small question. Suppose I'm having a blog. I want to promote my personal blog and I want to make use of Google AdWords. Can you give me simple steps how to proceed with that?
Sure. What is your blog about?
It's just my writings, my
your writing?
experiences, that's it. It's not a
Okay.
business.
It's not a business. Okay. That's and you're willing to invest money to promote it.
Right.
Okay. And who do you think is a good audience for your blog? Like, are you looking at, I don't know, certain age groups or people with specific interests?
I'm a software developer, so I write my blogs to support any other developers over there.
Okay, so software development and things like that. So maybe people who are sort of like tech savvy, software developer professionals, etc.
Right.
So yeah, definitely you can. So you can think of it in different ways. You can say, okay, specific to the content on your blog. So maybe you are writing about very specific things or specific technologies.
Okay.
So you may think about, you can run on queries which are related to that. So maybe not something as broad as software development, but within software development, what are specific things that you're writing about, you can target those queries on Google. So every time someone's searching on that, your blog will show up and you can show them an ad and say, get to know the latest trends in this, for this particular product or technology, for instance, right? Or if you want to connect with this user when they're not searching, let's say they're browsing other blogs or other forums or other websites which are part of our partner network, you can show your ads there as well.
So the first thing that I have to do is get a Google AdWord account, right?
Sorry?
The first thing that is I should get a Google AdWord account.
Yes, so you need to get signed up. So adwords.google.com, you just need to pick up, your blog, your website, write a message, think about how you want to target this. Is it through search? What are the queries? What is the, the list of sites that you're going to target? And that's how you can get started.
Okay.
So you'll start seeing, how much traffic is coming to your website, how many times your ads are showing, where are they showing. Once you get insights onto that, then you can say, okay, these are working well for me. I want to, pay more for these clicks.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi, Mrinalini.
Hi.
Yeah, it was a great overview of AdWords,
Thank you.
seriously. And yeah, I'm a big fan of AdWords, and I am really keen to know, like, what is the most important factor does a Google, looks for before displaying an ad on result page? I'm aware of a quality score. Google does look for that. Apart from it, what's the main factor does Google looks for before displaying an ad on search page? Can you
Okay,
tell?
so, sorry, the audio is breaking up, but, so your question was, what is the main criteria that Google looks at before displaying an ad
Exactly.
on a page, right? I would say the key thing is relevance, right? So quality score is really at the heart of it, but quality score, as I explained, is a very complex algorithm. So I don't have like one answer for your question, but I would still say I would peg it at relevance. Relevance is key.
All right.
Right? So if your ad is not relevant to the query, it will not show, period.
All right.
Now let's say your ad is relevant, but it is not as relevant as it should be, or it's not as relevant compared to your competitors. People don't find it as relevant, etc. Those are things that, start playing in. So there's a very complex auction that goes on behind the scenes, and that happens in a split second as users are entering the query and they hit enter. And for us, it's very simple. We see real-time results. We see sites, we see ads. But a system is actually working very hard back-end to pick which are these good quality ads that should show. And the key there is relevance.
All right. I had an experience, like, for one of my ad, I was having a nice quality score, like 8, and even its relevance was good. And also, I was spending a lot of, bucks on that ad. Even it was not showing up. It was a new site, actually. So I guess, I think domain history is also one of the factors, I guess.
So the domain might be, it depends. So if it's a new site, which, and it's a new campaign, so our system has no history of it. So algorithm has never looked at this ad, they don't know of your site. It might take a while for your performance to start building up.
All right.
So a system needs to know, okay, in the past, how has this person done? So it's a brand new campaign, which is why we say make your bids competitive, because your quality score also takes into account how much you're willing to pay. But again, the key is relevance. It has to be a relevant ad, only then bids are considered. So in your case, if you see it's a new website, new campaign, and you're seeing a quality score of 3 on 10, if you give it some time, that should pick up, given that your ads and pages and your queries are all relevant.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Just a quick time check. We're actually running out of time, so maybe we'll take 2 or 3 other questions, but I'm available after this, so we have like speaker booths and stuff like that. So if you have questions, and as I said, there's another session starting next door, so definitely feel free to join there and just talk to us if you want to know more.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about the feature of Google, which is I'm feeling lucky. Does that have any relevance with AdWords?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
The feature of Google called I'm feeling lucky.
Sorry, I can't hear.
I'm feeling lucky.
I'm feeling lucky. Okay.
Yeah.
got
Does that have any relevance with AdWords?
It does. So I'm feeling lucky is more like it's more to do with your search results and not advertising. So your search results and your ads are actually separate. Having said that, I'm feeling lucky, if I'm not mistaken, it takes you to the first website or the most relevant page, right? So you don't get to see ads there per se. But if you're talking about features like as you start typing, it starts giving you suggestions on what your query might be. Then your ads will match those queries, depending on what query you finally select. But in terms of I'm feeling lucky, it takes you directly to the page, so it's not really linked to.
Yeah, but if you think down the line, if some ad is very relevant to the thing that I type, it should be one of the searches, and if it's that relevant to be the I'm feeling lucky page, then it should be,
It probably should, yes, that's a good idea, but I think there it's more about connecting the user to, the most relevant search result. So we want to probably keep ads out of the way, and it lands you on that particular page. So it may not be, it's not google.com either. Yeah. But I mean, if you ever have features like that or advertising based on that, then that would be another way of connecting to like relevant ads or queries as well. So yeah, it is a good idea, but I think the idea here is to take the user directly to that specific page and not have ads and things like that cluttering it.
Thank you
So
so
again, it's the user which is the focus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm afraid we're going to stop. We're running short of time.
Yeah, I think so. One last question? No.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
Rani.
Hi.
Yeah, my name is Faisal. I'm a marketing consultant. To be frank, I found my Google AdWords just good for small and medium businesses, not good for big and Fortune 500 clients. And to be frank, I found LinkedIn to be good for big business.
What do you, well, if you're
I
still
have
on, I would
many
say,
clients, and through LinkedIn, I'm getting very good conversion rate.
okay, so if I understood your question, you're basically asking, is it a good solution for just
Yeah.
Fortune 500 companies or like small and medium businesses
Yeah.
as well? I work for SMBs and I can vouch it works just for the reasons we described. And as if you look at the marketplace today, it's not only the big brands that are online and are doing cool and creative things. Most people are going digital. Google is running so many initiatives to get small and medium businesses online because we have the, the tools and the technology to make it happen for you. So no matter how small a business you are, how niche a business you are, there will be opportunity out there. So AdWords is meant as a platform to connect you with your audience online. So it really doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 company or not. There's actually, and coming from that team and because I interface with businesses, not just in India, but in other emerging markets in the Asia Pacific region, I can say it works, right? It's just a matter of, being educated about the platform and understanding what it can deliver for your business.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being so patient.
Thank you. Can we have a big hand for the lady out here, everyone? Okay, as we always do, we have something really special for you, as you could remember this day and your presentation. I would just tell you this is not something usual which you get outside. This is going to be something special. You're going to witness it by yourself when you see this. Can you have a big hand for the lady out here, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for joining us.